Welcome back to 5 Leaks Garage. Today we are going to try to get this behemoth cleaned up and brought upstairs. And unfortunately, I'm by myself. So we're going to go over to some stuff. We're going to learn a bunch of stuff on how to get this thing light enough to be able to get up those stairs and put it back together by myself. Come along with me. Make sure I don't die. All right, what we got here is actually a Acura, A-C-C-U-R-A, whatever it is. Anyway, it is a 20-inch bandsaw. It was built in Philadelphia. Yeah, they're still making it here in the U.S. It is a 20-incher. It is a 3-horsepower behemoth that is on single phase 220 power. I mean, just look at the size of that wheel. That wheel's crazy. All right, so we, Mr. Jerry and I actually picked this up. We paid about $1,000 for it. We got a couple extra blades and stuff like that. I think we got a pretty good deal, but we're gonna dive into it, clean it up, and make sure that the bearings are good and that we actually did get a good deal. There you go. All right, everything sounds pretty good, but it could be a little bit better because it does need to be cleaned. It was sitting in a barn for the last few years, not really being used, but it's getting ready to be used quite a bit, I hope. So anyway, let's lighten it up and see if we can get it upstairs. All right, first thing we did was actually take off the table. 70 and a half pounds. All right, so this guy here, according to the website, I don't have anything to be able to measure this guy on, but according to the website, this thing is 640 pounds. Luckily, the guy we bought it from had a skid steer, and we didn't have to load it by hand. We did have to take it off by hand, but it's still too heavy to actually go upstairs. So we've already taken off 70 pounds. We need to take off more. We're gonna take the blade off. I know that for sure. Well, we're gonna take both the big wheels off, take the motor off, and anything else I can find. And we're gonna try to weigh each thing to try to see how low can we go. Oh man, talking about giving yourself a blood rush, especially with no sleep because we went camping and of course it rained on us. Anyway, take a look. So that is some beefy belts. And I went ahead and took the motor off because that little Jamie is, that guy is about 56 pounds. So far, let's do the math real quick. We took 70, I'm gonna round up to 60. So we took 130 pounds off already. So we're roughly around 500 pound mark. I sure hope these wheels are a lot heavier than I'm thinking, because that's gonna have to go down a lot for me to be heaving this thing back up. So I might have to go back on my word and bring somebody else in to help me push this thing up the stairs. Whew. All right, still got some more cleaning. As you can see, it's a little dirty. Now, is cleaning gonna actually make this thing work better? I don't know, but it'll make me feel better. Make me feel about spending that kind of cash. Even though I went with Mr. Jerry. Thank you, Jerry. Anyway, let's get this thing, rest of it, kind of cleaned up. We're gonna go ahead and pull the 20-inch wheel. That's all cast iron. That has gotta weigh a ton. Anyway, we need to get this guy off. So this is the guard. Looks like it's just two bolts there. This will come off. Any more up there? No? Okay. So yeah, that will come off, and then the blade should come right off as soon as I adjust these little tensioner things in the back. Yeah. Actually, where's the tripod, Willie? All right, still shredding the weight, baby. Look, all right, we got one of the, there you go. You can get the stop about 31 pounds. All right. So that's just one of them. Now we got two, so that'll be an additional 60. We're down to what, 500, another 60. Oh man, yeah. 440, getting closer. And we are just shredding off the weight. All right, just took a bunch of stuff off, a bunch of bearings, a bunch of idlers and stuff like that. One thing I'm learning about this thing has an adjustment for everything. And I'm noticing it has never been lubricated properly. I may be wrong, but I got clean fingers. Anyway, let's take a look and see how far we did. All right, I want everything, every pound. So I got these little things. I'm gonna get this guy up there. This guy. Oh, still not reading yet. And this guy from my scale. This thing's gotta be more than a pound. My scale's not happy. 1 second. Alright, 23 pounds. 7. 7. So get this up there. 40-ish. Alright. I'm going to round that up to 40 pounds because I do have some nuts and bolts and stuff like that. That's actually going to go back on there. Now, one thing I do as a little tip, you probably already know it. I'm sure you do. But put your bolts back where they're supposed to. So when you're actually trying to put this thing back together after you clean it, you know where everything's at. I got a couple bolts in the back that came off the motor. I'm going to be putting that back on here in a minute. But look at that. Nice. Is it still heavy? Yes, it is still heavy, but I can actually still move it, which is awesome. All right. According to the website, we're about 640 pounds-ish. A lot of these things are rounded. It doesn't make that big of a difference, but for the sake of numbers, we actually round them up or down. About 640 is the total, according to the website. The wheels themselves are about 65 pounds. I went ahead and weighed them both at the same time. The spare parts and stuff, where all the stuff that was in there, was 40. The motor itself was 60 pounds. The table, that big behemoth, was 70 pounds altogether. You add all that together and you get about 235 pounds. Now please check my math. And with that, from the 240, we're down to 405 pounds. We were getting really close of getting to what I believe in my magic head of what we need to get down to. Now someone would probably argue, we don't need anything this big. I say, yes we do. But look at the size of that blade. That is ridiculous. And it's nice and sharp, which is awesome. But yeah, that is a huge blade. But yeah, I looked it up. They're about 200 bucks a piece. So it's kind of like buying a BMW. You get an old used one, they're relatively cheap. Until you start thinking about how much maintenance you need to do and how much parts are. Those things are ridiculous. Anyway, I got a couple more things I want to take off and weigh it, and I think I got it stripped down to the bare bones, and then I can't really strip anything else. So we had a pulley right here, which is the lower pulley, and that's all gone. Now this right here is actually a brake. It's a foot brake. Step on that, and it will actually slow it down enough to where you can walk away with it and be nice and safe. Now the main reason why we are taking this all apart, because look at that bearing. All right, it's not bad. It's a sealed bearing. It should be fine, but we want to clean all that stuff up. This thing has been used. It's been around for a while. We want to clean it up. We're going to go ahead and get the idler off. Trying to figure out if we need to get any bearings. But this is a 2-speed bandsaw. So it has 2 up here, and on the motor, fudge. That hurt. Whew. And on the motor, we have 2 different size pulleys on this thing. One for fast and one for slow. And I wonder if we have one for concussion. Wow, that's already a lump. Anyway, got some more stuff to take off, and then we'll weigh it, and that'll be my minimum. And I believe that might be my magic number because I can't take anything else off. All right, so that just took off an even more, what's that, 20 pounds. There you go, 20 pounds. Just off of those 2 guys there. Now, I believe that's gonna put us around the magic number that I think I can actually do. So another 20 off of that one, and we get 5, 8, 3. So 385. I think I can do that. It's just squatting and pulling, right? It's like deadlifts. I can do that. Yeah, baby. Whew. I don't know if I'll do it today, though. Maybe you'll see me tomorrow. Maybe I'll have Uncle Dave. I don't know. I'll figure something out. All right. Well, I'm getting ready to clean it. Finally. I cleaned some of it. It's a lot more to clean. Maybe that might take off another 30 pounds, right? Maybe. All right, as you saw, we're down past 400 pounds. So we're in the 380-ish range. That should be enough that I'll be able to heave that up there. I'm not gonna do it right now, only because I gotta move a lot of crap out of the way. I don't wanna get it halfway up there and have crap in the way and then you have a problem. So I need to clean up a little bit, and then hopefully we'll have it documented and I do not drop it all the way down the stairs. I need time. Dude, I got 0 time to clean this stuff up. All right, guess what? It's still down here. Haven't brought it upstairs yet because of a couple different reasons. One, I really like my life. I also really like that wall over there, and I was going to try to heave it up by myself. I actually went up there and got my winch thing out, kind of built that a while back, and that one actually goes on front of the trailer. Now, I was going to try to bolt it to the floor, use the winch, all this other stuff, and then my brother calls and said, hey, I need to borrow the trailer. I'm like, great, while you're here, you can help me get this bastard up the damn stairs. So as soon as Dave gets here, we're going to try to get this thing upstairs, and hopefully I'll get a camera guy or girl from inside to actually help us document it. And in case something happens, well, you'll see it. All right, he should be here in a couple minutes. Get this guy upstairs. All right, we're up here in the wood shop. Look what he got up here. Thanks for Uncle Dave coming into the clutch again. But man, one healthy tip. Don't have 2 hot dogs before you do this. You will burp it up. Anyway, we'll get it back together. Start cutting some wood. Now I did go through and order some parts for the electrical. I thought I had it, but everything I had was 30 amp and I need 20 amp. All right, 30 amp's not gonna do it. 20 amp is where we need to be. I got it on order, should be here tomorrow. We'll get it done in the next week or so. But for today, the biggest thing that we need to get done is get rid of all this garbage and put this thing where we're gonna sit it, and then we can put it back together. I'm excited, even if I can't run it until my power stuff gets here, but that might be on another video. Anyway, a couple things that you really want to think about. All right, I am on the 2nd floor. The floor is made out of wood. Now I do have a steel I-beam going straight across all the way across. It is pretty beef. And I also have 2x12s as my floor joists, which is also beef. That's why I don't think there's a big problem with using the, putting this up here at 640 pounds or whatever it is that said on the internet. But what I am gonna do is actually go have it sit this way rather than this way. I'm gonna do it this way because my floor joists go this way, and I can actually spread the weight over a couple floor joists. Now I'll inspect it downstairs, and if I do feel the need, I'll take another 2x12 that I have around here somewhere, cut it down, and actually tie the 2 floor joists together, or maybe 3 or 4 of them to actually give it some more strength. I don't think we're gonna have that much of a problem, seeing as that right on the other side of that wall is load bearing. See, we're good. Anyway, let's speed this up and get this crap out of the way because I want to get cutting. Yeah. All right, progress is being made. Starting up here on top, we got our arm put in, kind of cleaned it up a little bit, a little Windex, a little bit of oil. Went ahead and put some white lithium grease on everything that is metal on metal, because we want this thing to last forever. So anyway, we're getting ready to put the big wheel on. Also, while you're in here, check out your bearings. We don't have any play in this. This is a swing out. There's an adjustment on there. It actually keeps the wheel up there to actually keep everything on. We're going to adjust this in a later video on that will be more specific, because most people don't really want to watch me put this thing back together. But anyway, don't forget your little cotter pins or your keys. That's actually going to be sitting right here on top. Bam! Like I see, right there. All right. Now, one thing you do have to remember is that this nut is backwards thread. So don't try to sit there when you're taking it off, rip down on it, and it's not coming off. Anyway, alrighty, see what we got here on this big joker. Make sure the key is in the right direction. Alright, the swing arm is in the way. There's a cavity right there, but yeah, it's in the way. So let's, look at that. Look how well that just, it's beautiful when it's all lubricated. Look at that. Like a glove. Ooh, I even get a light. Alright, now we're going to cinch this down. Don't forget your washer. For all of you that's in West Virginia or Georgia, your washer. Alright, now remember this bolt, or this nut, if I can get it to start, is backwards threads. So when you torque this down, and no, this is not my torque of choice, but it will work for right now. There you go. Make sure it's going backwards. Ah, so quiet, so beautiful. I don't know about you, but I'm excited. Alright, as you can tell, bearing is fantastically awesome. Now that pretty much takes care of everything that's above here. Also, we put in the arm. Now for the arm, you can just eyeball it to see if it's actually straight. Later on, you can loosen it up in the back and actually adjust it as you go. Like I said, there are a lot of adjustments. From here to here, let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's just for the top. I haven't even gotten to the bottom yet. I'm just going to count on Mr. Jerry to look it up, so I don't have to do the research. Anyway, on to the bottom. Right. Alright, did you catch it? Because I messed up. Alright, I have my pulley on. Got my other pulley on, this is my idler. I got my motor in. I already tightened everything up, torqued it. Right now it's way too loose. Got to torque again. But I forgot to put my brake on. Now either A, I could have knocked this bolt out and take it off and actually thread it in. But that's a nylock nut. And once you take it off, the nylon is not really nylon much anymore because it's all trash. So I loosened this up, which is back here. There it is. So I had to loosen that all the way up. It's not very easy, unless I get a socket, which that goes all the way downstairs. But anyway, I was able to have to get this off, get the belt off, get the pulley back off, and now I can attach that. And what that is actually a brake So when you shut it off, this thing's still going to be rolling. When you push that down, it's a little foot brake. Slows it down. A little safety thing. Kind of want to keep it. Anyway. Woo, let me get that big old wheel back on. First, I'm going to put you on charge. Alright, we're getting real close. It almost looks brand new. Almost. What we're going to do now is actually try to get this big, ginormous blade on this thing. Alright, big moment. Final piece of the puzzle. And this thing is a behemoth. I think it's like 70 pounds, I think what I said earlier. Alright, that is one heck of a project. All we did was put the thing back together. But good gracious, I'm all oily, I'm all greasy, but this guy is ready to go. Almost. Because I need more parts. I need a 4-inch dust collector, which is going to go down to my little pipe down there, in which I need to get another piece for that. I'll have maybe the blast valve over here, up, around, all the way down. But as you can see, everything is in, everything is looking great. I started working on the table itself. You can see on this side where it's nice and shiny, and I've actually started wiping that down. Over here is a little bit rusty, and all I'm using is a Brillo pad and some oil. Let's see, it comes up. Then I'll take a oily rag, wipe it off, and it's coming clean. It's just gonna need a lot more elbow grease. All right, like I said before, there are so many adjustments for this thing. I kind of adjusted a little bit only by spinning it and make sure the blade didn't pop off. Kind of aligned a couple of things, but it still needs a lot more fine tuning. We're gonna go back and actually learn all that stuff and then come back and teach it. I've never done it before because I've never had something this nice before. Let's go over all the adjustments real quick. I already covered everything up here, so look back in the video for there. Now down here, well, things are a little bit different. Like I said, you got your brake in the back, you have your idler pulley. Now you have one pulley in the back, one pulley in the front. Now when you look on the motor, way down in there, you got a big pulley and a little pulley. It's a 2-speed, so you can go real fast or you can go kind of slow. Right now I think it's on the fast speed. We're going to crank it up and see how that actually works. Got yourself a little brush. All right, so this guy here, you got adjustments. You got a little bearing right there, which needs to be tightened. There we go. So I just have that barely resting on the blade itself. This right here is all your guides. We're just going to leave them about a 1/16 of an inch off. Same thing with up here. You also have another bearing right there. Now in the back, that lower drum or lower wheel gets adjusted by these guys here. Now you unscrew these a little bit, then you use these, the ones behind it, to actually adjust it, and then you cinch that down and actually lock it in place. You also have the adjustment right there that actually does your idler, which I screwed that up earlier. And then of course you got your big Hammer Jammer motor. And yes, like I said before, that motor's 3 horsepower. What you get when you get beef. All right. So why did we get this thing? Well, it's for pieces like this. Now I can go up a little bit here and it should be able to fit right through. I want to say it's got a deep throat, but when I'm getting ready to turn these for bowls, you're going to cut the edges off. This guy is going to do it. If you want to make a 2-inch slab, we'll just have to get a fence, slide it through, and we should be good to go. So stay tuned to 5 Lakes Garage for all that good, wonderful stuff a little bit later. But right now, I got to get cleaned up, this guy's almost ready to go. I'm gonna go order some parts, and I'll see you guys next time when we're actually using this thing.